Senator Louis Farrakhan. I am registering to vote because I intend by the power of Almighty God to turn America upside down and around.
Some of these are variations of Islamic belief, and some broke away from the Islamic tradition from which they came.
To continue to present the religion of Islam the way he's doing it is wrong. That's the bottom line, it's wrong.
Yet one major division of the Muslim community is especially important. This is the division between those who call themselves Sunnis and those known as Shia. As we've seen, the word Sunni means a person who follows the Sunnah, or well-trodden way. Sunnis speak of themselves as the people of the established way in the community. More than 85% of Muslims in the world are Sunnis, and perhaps for this reason their version of Islam is sometimes called orthodoxy. There is no disagreement among Sunni and Shia Muslims about the basic doctrines of Islam. All affirm the oneness of God and the uncreatedness of the Quran. The division between Sunni and Shia Muslims originated in the leadership struggles that arose upon Muhammad's death.
The word Shia means partisan of, to be party of, and the of is of Ali, the son-in-law and cousin of the Prophet. The question came up, who should be the representative of the Prophet as ruler of the Islamic community after his death? The majority considered Abu Bakr, the venerable friend of the Prophet, who was 2 years older than him, and the first adult male to embrace Islam, to be the successor. The heads of the community met together and they elected him. A smaller number, a minority, believed that the Prophet had already designated Ali, who was 12, 13 years old when the Prophet received the message of Islam, and also is considered the very first person to have embraced Islam, but also as a young boy.
The Shia believe that God will never let the world be without an infallible spiritual guide. Just as Muhammad interpreted the revelation to his own generation, they believe an authoritative interpreter and guide is needed for the generations after him. There have been 12 such spiritual guides or imams, and the last of them is said to be still alive in the world, though hidden to the view of humans. Islam teaches that the faithful should reap the rewards of submission to God, both in this world and in the hereafter, but Muslims have found it difficult to reconcile this teaching with what has happened. In the 17th century, the Muslims could claim 3 great dynastic powers. The Ottoman Empire dominated what is now Turkey and its surrounding regions. The Safavid dynasty governed Persia, or what is now Iran, and the Mughal Empire reigned in India. All were culturally rich, economically powerful, and militarily strong. By the late 19th century, however, the Mughal Empire had disappeared. It was absorbed into the domains of Britain's Queen Victoria. Iran, the site of the former Safavid dynasty, had been reduced to impotence as rival British and Russian interests competed to control it. And the Ottoman Empire was known as the sick man of Europe. World War I would finish it off. In the 19th century, much of the Islamic world, from Morocco to Indonesia, was reduced to the status of colonies controlled by Western empires. All this has led Muslims to re-examine their fundamental religious convictions as they strive to reform and politically revitalize the Muslim community. Several factors in recent years have combined to reassure Muslims that their feet continue to be upon the straight path. One is the collapse of colonialism, which has allowed Muslim peoples to break the European political yoke. Especially after World War II, one Muslim country after another declared its independence and asserted its nationhood. Muslim states now form a powerful bloc in the United Nations, and they enjoy great influence in international affairs. Another factor is the acquisition of great wealth by those Muslim countries with large petroleum resources. they have emerged as major actors upon the world stage. Islam has been growing in part because of the natural increase of populations in the Muslim countries, but there are other factors. One of them is the adaptability of Islamic teaching to local customs, and therefore to new regions. Another is Islam's teaching of equality. All are warmly welcomed into the Muslim community, whatever might be their race, social status, or background. From this situation has come a renewed awareness of Islam. There has been a strong assertion of its meaning, not only for Muslim populations, but for all people everywhere. Muslims are turning increasingly to the values of their own tradition. In the past, their devotion to Islam seemed to have brought the community to the peak of its power and cultural creativity. Many Muslims believe that if there is to be salvation in the present, it must lie in returning to the sources of that original strength. Most Muslims seek a peaceful and reverent life in obedience to God. Indeed, a common greeting throughout the Muslim world is decreed by the Quran.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May peace and blessings be upon you.